at Talk to Me podcast. This is episode 10. I'm your host, Chris.
I'm your co-host, Jazz.
And today is Sorority Sundays. We have the awesome Ashley, Robin, and Jasmin on there, actually AKAs, and they're going to tell us a little about themselves. And of course, we're going to start off with the Miss Beautiful Ashley Lancaster. First, we want to know your story about what made you become a AKA.
Oh, okay. Well, I grew up around AKAs. It's maybe like 4 or 5 women in my family that's AKAs, so it was just kind of destined to be. Okay, but it kind of just happened. Like when I first started college, I was interested. Then life happened. I had a child, moved to San Diego with my ex, and then when I got back, I started working at the University of Houston downtown, and then they just started sending me stuff. Like I started getting like these invitations to come to things, and I was like, okay, let me just, check it out and see. So it was like one event where I won like all these prizes. I was the only person to win the prizes at the event. So I was like, maybe this is just like destined for me to do this. So I did it, and here I am. That's it.
What about you, Miss
Robin?
I'll skip over the Jazz. No, I'm from up north originally, so it's not really big and advertised up there. So coming down to a southern state, you really get exposed to it. Not only that, like it's what it stands for, everything behind it, and then for me, no one in my family really is a part of a sorority. Mm-hmm. So therefore, for me to accomplish that, it helps with generations to come for my family.
Right.
So it's opening the doors for my child, my nieces, and stuff like that. So it's definitely something I'm excited I got into. I mean, we are the best. So. Oh, that was good. That's great.
We are the best. DJ Kevin. We the best.
That was real good. You want to do one more drink?
So what about you, Miss Jasmin?
Okay, as for me, so I've always been the headstrong student, wanted the full experience for everything. So when I went to school, I mean, of course I had like different Greek influential people in my life growing up, but no one in my family in particular is Greek. So I went to Sam Houston, and I was like very actively involved in so many different organizations. I actually pledged a business fraternity, and then an honor fraternity, and then AKA. So it was just kind of like that sealed the deal factor. I've always wanted to be a part of a sorority, and that was my choice since I was younger. Because of the women and different teachers and stuff that I've had that were very supportive and very influential people just overall. And yeah, so once I became a part of the organization, the same thing paved the way for I'm so gung-ho about it. So my friends, I'm always reaching out to anyone who's trying to become a part of it, trying to assist in any way that I possibly can. And of course, like my nieces, my goddaughters, like they won't have a choice. That's it. This is it. This is the only option.
So was the, I know y'all can't really describe the process or anything like that, but was it hard or anything, or was it just like, I want to do this is what I have to do to be to where I want to be at right now?
Well, at Sam Houston, because at the time, Sam Houston is a predominantly white school. I mean, that's just it. It's more culturally diverse now, but the African American population at the time when I attended 2005 to 2009 was pretty limited. So those individuals who actually were doing anything on campus, it was just like they were the leaders that were in every organization. So whether it was the NAACP, Black Student Alliance, creating their own organizations. So it was really selective, period. Right. So the presence there was just very limited. So in that regard, the process was very interesting and lengthy, to say the least. So it definitely wasn't something I could say that I woke up and said I want to be AKA and tomorrow I became one. No, there's definitely a lot of work behind it.
That was the same thing as far as, because I mean, we pledged at a commuter college, so it's smaller than like the large universities. So it was definitely a very interesting process, to say the least. Don't you think, Robin?
Yeah.
Well, tell me one thing. What's the negatives of being an AKA?
I think maybe the stigma of like people assume that we are a certain way or you know we should behave a certain way, but at the end of the day we're human, and I don't think we should be put into like this box, although the box that we are put in is, you know, it's kind of at a higher standard, I guess, I don't know, but still it's like no one should be put into a box, and the stigma surrounding the organization, it's, I don't know, it can be perceived negative sometimes. So I think that maybe for me.
Yeah.
What's the negative for you, Robin?
The description of what an AKA is.
Yes, what's the negative of being?
That's the negative to me, because it's like you have to be skinny, you have to have long hair, you have to have your makeup on point at all times. And that's not what the organization stands for. It is so much more that organization stands for that is not what we're for. So that, to me, that's the negative, because it discouraged, you know, plus size women. It discouraged people who feel that they're not adequate enough to join the organization because they don't fit those standards.
Right.
Yeah.
What about you?
I would have to agree with both. Initially, the first thought that came to my mind was the stigma. The first thing that anyone associates, even on a basic level, when I meet anyone, a stranger off the street, it's always just like, oh, if they know that I'm AKA, they automatically assume that I'm stuck up, or I think I'm really conceited, and so on and so forth. And anyone who knows me knows that that's not my personality at all. Like, I'm very friendly, I'm very approachable. And so when I actually became an AKA, that was something that, you know, I guess anyone battles with. Initially, people, you know, some people do get lost in the hype. You know, people who were not really active, they have one goal in mind, they pledge different things for different reasons and ulterior motives. And that's not what we're about at all. You know, that's not what the organization stands for. You know, we're so much more than just a pretty face, and so much more than ski-weeing on the yard and wearing pink and green or pearls. You know, like, we are of substance. Women with goals, women that are trying to empower the youth and the world one step at a time, you know. So yeah, definitely, it's really that was always the one thing, to try to just remain ourselves, like remain humble, to be like, I can be this, I can be Jasmin, and I can be an AKA.
Right.
So I'm not the AKA Jasmin.
Right.
That does not define me, you know.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So what do y'all do
What do I do?
as a profession? Like, what do y'all do? Let's start with because you're right here.
Rotation.
Right. Well, I work in the HR field. Yeah. But honestly, my passion comes from my organization. I have a nonprofit, and I hope to do that full time.
Shout out to Chasing Dreams, right?
Chasing Dreams.
Wow.
Shout out to that. But that's what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about making a difference in the community, giving, like, you know, guidance to youth who don't usually have it, helping people that can't help themselves. So that's what I'm into. That's what my focus has been on now. Although I am in the HR field,
Okay.
you know.
What do you do HR at?
I work for a restaurant company, Romano's Macaroni Grill.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is the nonprofit for it?
The nonprofit, it's a 501c3, and what we do is assist like youth with mentorship and, you know, guidance and, you know, different little things. I actually just started it, and we've had maybe 3 events so far. So it's growing.
Okay, that's good.
And getting shot. Why don't you shout that out where people can find you at the Instagram?
Yes, everyone go to on Instagram Chasing Dreams, and that is Chase the letter N Dreams.org. You can find me there.
Okay. What about you, Miss Robin?
So now y'all gonna see why I have such a good personality.
Okay.
So I work for the state, and I work with sexual assault victims, children and adults, and I do counseling for them. I'm getting my master's in counseling to be a licensed LPC. So, you know, that's why I have to have a sense of humor.
Right.
Not only that, by February, Little Me Academy should be opening, which is a daycare facility for people, you know, who can't afford it in DCI. So, you know, I want to be the opportunity for them as well, just like, you know, for people who can't afford it. I love my job. I mean, it's so much hurt out there that if I could bring my personality to someone to make the situation a little bit better,
Exactly.
It's giving back to the community. It's giving back to others.
I got you. What is the hardest part about your job right now?
Because they could be infants. They could be 6 months and be sexually abused by a brother, or an uncle, or anything like that. So it's like you really have to put on a strong face when speaking to a mother about a 6-month-old being raped by a cousin.
Right.
So.
And how do you deal with that? Because I know I wanted to kind of go into that field at first, but I switched over. But how do you just deal with that on a day-to-day basis?
You have to learn to leave your work at work.
Right.
So when you go home, you know, I don't know if you have children, but you take precaution for your children. For you tell your friends and stuff, to be cautious about certain things, but you leave your job at your job.
Right.
Because if you take it home, you'll be seeing a life counselor too.
I completely agree.
You're talking to yourself in the room.
Right. Like,
So.
right. I got you. And what about you, Miss Jasmin? What do you do?
I actually work for HISD, so for the Facility Services Department. So close knit with like the maintenance on the maintenance level of really. Well, obviously, look, we just got destroyed by the hurricane. Okay,
Right.
so it's been so much work going into getting those campuses ready and up and running for school to start for these students. And so I work with the team who pretty much like we receive all those phone calls, we receive all the requests, we're dispatching every tech. We're manning the project right now for the district. So it's been like the last 2 weeks, day in and day out for work. My biggest passion though is fashion. So I style and consult and things of that nature on the side. So really just been teaming up with whoever, different nonprofit organizations, different community service types events, also like mentor and different things like that, like through church and through another nonprofit organization that I've been helping with a lot this year, called Daily Pink Forever. And so just motivationally speaking and everything like that. So those are just like those sidebar like passion,
So with fashion, like that's your passion. Do you want to design, or is it more just like consulting, like you helping people out, like, okay, you should do this with this? What exactly are you trying to do with that?
Ultimately, I would like to own my own boutique. My background is in fashion. So I went to school for fashion merchandising, general business administration. So ultimately, just the whole nine. Like, own my own boutique. Design, possibly, maybe do accessories and dip into that creative side, and closet organization, styling for events. I consult all the time, whether it's just friends. Every little bit helps tone up those characteristics. So
So you can consult with me for my birthday.
Yeah,
my birthday
everybody. I'm telling you, like,
I'm trying to do hella fly for my birthday. Okay, I got you.
Well, of course, let me wake us up because we keep sleepy. So if anything, if you had a chick and she said she's want to be a Delta, how could you convince her to be an AK? What would be your approach?
Well, the thing is, I'm not going to convince anybody to be.
If you had to convince her, she's like, I want to be an AKA, but the Deltas is this and this.
Well, then you go with the Deltas.
That's just
because you can't flip flop. Like you need to pick something and stick with it and go hard for it.
So meaning like, when did you know you want to be a Delta?
Sorry. He apologizes. He apologizes. He's sorry. When did you want to know that you wanted to be AKA?
That's a tough question.
It's a good question.
That's a great question.
It's a great question. I knew that I wanted to be a part of the organization. Like when I really, really, really like looked into it. Like after I was invited into the events. Like yes, I have relatives who are, but to get that firsthand experience and knowledge of what the girls were doing at that point. I think that's when I wanted to be a part of it. And then for my chapter, I was like, yeah, I need to be a part of this because, I felt like I just exuded all of the characteristics naturally of an AKA, just wanting to give back. even then I wanted to do the nonprofit and help at that time women,
Right.
who, you know, because I was going through a situation with my ex, so, you know, just to help women to become stronger, to motivate others. So yeah, I think it was then, like once I really dug into the organization, I was like, hey, this is a direct reflection of who I already am. You know what I'm saying? And then it's also a platform for me to do the things that I really want to do as far as the community service, which is the number one thing about our organization. It's about community service, helping people. Like, forget all that, the you know, the glam and the glitz and all of that. It's not about that. It's about community service, helping people. You know what I'm saying? And making a difference. So I was like, yeah, I can. This is me.
This is what you want to do.
Yeah, this is what I want to do.
I got you.
Yeah.
And what about you, Miss Robin?
I would have to kind of agree with her, but you know, just after educating yourself, weighing out your options, seeing what best fits you. You can't tell someone to join something because it fits you, because it may not fit them.
Exactly.
So, you know, it's just after being knowledgeable about it, learning about it. Plus, if you're not first, you're last. So I don't know what to tell you.
Oh my God.
I'm joking.
Inside. You have to be an AKA to understand that.
We used to joke with that all the time.
And what about you?
Okay, so for me, I guess I can say coming into school, I was pretty knowledgeable about a variety of organizations. So probably I have a close cousin, and like her whole entire family, as far as women are concerned, are deltas. So it's like, okay, you know, I saw them. They are very prominent individuals in the city of Houston. They've done a lot of great things. And then I've had some different teachers and, you know, influential people of that nature throughout my course. So like middle school, I just remember having, like, you know, my English teacher was an AKA, my piano teacher was an AKA. And just seeing how they used to be, maybe it kind of had that negative stigma with them initially, you know, like these perfectionists, which I've naturally always been. Like, I've always set that goal, like that bar needed to be super high. You know, I didn't need to make a 98. I needed to make 100.
Right.
I mean, seriously, I think I cried when I got my first B.
Can I like chime in on that real quick? So Jasmin is my god sister, right? So she been in my life since we were little kids. I remember this girl. Was this 6th grade or 5th grade?
6th grade.
Literally in the 6th grade, she was writing 10-page papers. Like one night, my mom stayed up to like 6 o'clock in the morning typing one of her papers. What 6th grader writes 10-page papers?
I don't know, 'cause I wasn't doing that.
I was like, growing up, like on our summer vacation, she was doing homework. And me and her little sister, we was like, we're trying to have fun.
Right.
I don't know what you're doing, but
exactly.
She is like probably one of the smartest people I know. And she definitely is a perfectionist. No, she wouldn't do our work. Like, we would be lying. Like, we finished our work and stuff. And she was like, no, I really have to do my work.
I understand that. I feel that. That's how it was when I was little.
Nah, 6th grade, there was niggas was smelling fingers in 6th grade.
Oh,
my God.
That's real good 6th grade. I'm just saying, I don't know what y'all doing. I was good. I got basketball practice. Niggas tell me I was
6th grade, that's too early to be writing 10 pages.
I don't know.
Back then, it was you finger fucking when you back then. Now it's worse. I heard people getting it on in 6th grade. I'd rather finger than
I don't know nothing about
I
that.
I had somebody
They got people
pregnant
getting
at
head
my
in
school
6th grade.
7th grade.
That's that new generation.
No, I'm just saying, the new generation is worse. They got people getting head in 6th grade.
No, we had pregnant
that was
people
6th
in
or 7th grade.
I think I was pretty sure I went to school someone that was pregnant like 7th grade.
When I was in 6th grade, it wasn't no fucking going on in 6th grade. I don't remember that. It was like, ooh, I got the finger, you know.
What is that even?
I'm saying, you got the finger. That's what I'm saying. That was like, you get mad love, you get the finger back then. That was...
I think that's so gross.
That's
It
like
is.
Germs all in your fingers, like,
you don't know
no.
nothing about nothing.
Keep your
Like,
fingers to yourself.
right?
That's what I'm saying. So that's all we knew was like, catch, get a little bit, you know. It was like a game. Spin the bottle.
Out, you know.
What school did you go to?
Maybe like
I went to
glitching or
Catholic school with
something.
Epiphany. Shout out to Epiphany Panthers, St. Augustine, Purple Knights, and Bishop McMahon's. I went to Catholic school all my life. Mom didn't want me to go to public school because she knew, you know, look what you did to me, Mom. But anyway, shout out to Mom. This is Talk to Me podcast.
Right,
We're live on Facebook, SoundCloud. We got our YouTube channel. We actually got approved yesterday, last night. So our YouTube channel is gonna be up. We are on Instagram. I'm Everybody Hates Chris 81. Snapchat, Everybody Hates Chris. And what's up?
Oh, I'm at Lajazzy on Instagram and Snapchat. That's LAJAZZIE.
And we gotta give a shout out to our sponsors, New Orleans Hookah, Resources for Better Health, and Ashley, my favorite hygienist. We still looking for sponsors.
Yeah.
Sponsors are limited, so if you can sponsor us, show us some love. But again, it's Sorority Sunday. We got AKAs, Pink and Green, right?
Pink and Green.
Pink and Green. I was trying to find me some Pink and Green socks and Marshalls. I couldn't find them. I was going to wear some Pink and Green. No homo, I don't care. I can rock pink. I know what I do. And again, we got Ashley, Jasmin, and Robin on here. I appreciate y'all coming out. Of course, I'm just meeting Robin and Jasmin and sweet young ladies so far. Ashley, I've been knew her since 2008.
2008?
2008.
It wasn't before then?
It was before. It's 2008.
Yeah.
It's 2008.
That's
So I've been knowing her since I moved to Houston, and she was actually friends with my own wife, and anyway, but and she's been actually been 100, since day one, Of course, I did a lot of wrong things, and she shouldn't have to root for me, but she still did because she's life. Shit happens.
Right.
And that's why I appreciate her because she kept it real with me. Anytime I got something going, I send her a text, post this, do this. All right, Chris, I got you with no questions asked. Some people ask, what is this? Man, I ask no questions.
Right.
You gonna support me? Support me. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So that's why I appreciate her, and I appreciate you for blessing me with this. And of course, we know about the AKA. I think I have one more question I want to ask.
I have a question too.
AKA, I got one more before I switch over to
You wanna do your question?
You can do yours.
I have my question. So I know there are paper AKAs, and they are like the AKAs that go through the whole process. So is there any type of anyway? I don't know what you're talking
We're
about.
non-hazing
Exactly.
organization.
So, anyways, is there any type of like bias or anything toward those that are paper, or is it just like we are all one, like we love y'all regardless, anything like that? I just want to know.
Well, we're all
You know what? We all are one.
Right.
It's Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. But I will say that, let's see, how can I say this the PC way?
Right.
If you want to be in this organization, you need to work for it.
Right.
And you need to, it's not like anybody can't just be in this organization.
Exactly. I agree.
You need to put in the work, and you need to take it very seriously, because once you are in this organization, you represent this organization with everything that you do. And I think that I don't think it's a good idea to just let people just slide on through. You gotta put in a little work.
I know that. No, I totally.
And that's with
agree.
anything. Like you have to
Exactly.
put in like things that you appreciate. You need to work hard for it. Period. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Y'all got anything feedback on that?
Well, yeah, pretty much. The same thing. That just kind of goes with the whole. Some people just have that sense, feel like they have that sense of entitlement, and sometimes things get a little interesting when it comes to that particular aspect of the organization. But at the end of the day, we have to love one another, and we are all one. We all represent Alpha Kappa Alpha, and we, once those letters come on, and once the name or the organization is associated with you, then there is no, I, you, it's us. We're a team.
I like that, team. So my question is, I've been holding this question. When I just need to do this. When the song come on, when do y'all practice y'all fucking dances? Because I be
That's
like,
a good question.
I'm like, hold on, these
Y'all be going at it.
Hey, look, I'm talking about, and motherfuckers be on point, like.
Some songs I know, I'll be like, hey, y'all about to hit this beat.
Yeah,
I got
I'm
this wood. I can't do
y'all
nothing.
have meetings and y'all have a dance session on the Sunday and y'all say that we're gonna practice our dance? And y'all get this shit together because there's no one around, everybody on fucking point and nobody missing the step.
Okay.
And you drunk as a motherfucker. So it's like people come to the realization like, oh, girl, it's time to do the dance. I seen motherfuckers, a chick was like fucked up. Like literally fucked up.
Yeah.
The song came and said, girl, it's time to dance.
With some heels on too.
Yeah.
So that's what I appreciate do about like if I was to be one, it'd probably be for the dancing and other than that, I don't think I like to really be on my own. I'm too much I don't like too many guys around me.
Yeah.
No homo. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, but when that's one of my questions.
Okay.
And if a girl, for example, she comes out of a community college, can she be okay? Because people, I think
we have grad chapters.
that's because some people think it got to be like, oh, I went to Texas A&M, or I went to Blase, U of H, or TSU. You know,
I know community colleges.
Yeah.
Because ratchet could be AKA, right?
Do y'all like, is it like a certain thing
you can
like
start
y'all
from
look
ratchet.
for it? Or is it just like, oh, if you want to join and you have the credentials and you can go through the whole process, boom, you in there? Or is it just like, oh, I
Well,
want
Definitely
to
nothing. You have to be invited for grad
Right.
chapter.
Okay.
You have to be sponsored.
Yes.
You have to be sponsored.
So, well, it's kind of like a variety. I mean, it's inclusive of all of those aspects, you know. So, every organization has requirements. So, standard, you know, your GPA needs to be like this. You have to have had so many hours of community service. You have to have like so many recommendation letters for, you know, from certain people, not just, you know, not just like a friend or something like that.
It would most likely have to be like an AKA.
AKA, and it have to be. And it's not like just any AKA. It has to be like an active AKA, so on and so forth. So for the grad chapter aspect of it, yes, you have to be invited, but in a sense, like if you're interested, you can still do your research for those organizations. And so to express your interest is just how you would if you were undergrad.
Right.
You go to that organization's programs or meetings or community service events. You get your face out there like anything else.
Right.
Because I may be a person who knows no one as an AKA. And if that's something that I've always been really passionate about, how would I get that invite? You know, I would have to do the groundwork myself to get to that point. So once you start, you know, being seen and, you know, you're actively involved, people notice you, those right people notice, and then that's when they start. If you show your interest, then they meet you halfway. You know, and it's like, okay, they'll help you along the way as far as what this process looks like, you know. So
And yes, we do practice our strolls.
yeah, that was
I know, I do believe it, because I think I heard, back in UVH I had heard, and I was like, okay, y'all practicing, but y'all got it.
I mean, but we get together as well,
Okay,
though. So when we get together, we typically practice.
What if Jasmin doing work? How would she get invited? How would y'all see her?
In the grad chapter or undergrad?
It'll have to be the grad. Yeah.
Well, I mean, just like Jasmin said, you need to get out there and show your face. You know, network.
Right, exactly.
Basically.
But you gotta let people know that you're trying to get.
You gotta let people know.
that you
Attend
attend programs. I mean, that's just like as undergrad, and which was very sacred. I never, you know, finished like when I actually wanted to become an AKA, but that was it. Once you became like when you were undergrad, every organization had programs every single day, every single week. So you have to go to the program.
It's open to everybody.
It's open to everybody. But it's up to them to decide if they're gonna pick.
Well, not you know,
to a certain extent.
To a certain extent,
You gotta carry your own weight too.
Yeah,
GPA,
right.
stuff like that.
So
Even after you graduate and you get in grad chapter, your GPA, your cumulative has to be.
So I guess what they're saying is like you can meet all of the requirements, but when it gets to that final time, it is under someone else's
jurisdiction.
if you are accepted to the organization. Yes.
Yeah.
So.
And that's on both of them. That's on undergrad.
I heard Lil Jazz. What did you say on one of the previous podcasts?
Yeah, she heard you.
I heard you.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Shout out to Ashley.
I don't remember. I know I did did, when I was going into college, I did like an AKA scholarship, and I got it. So like that's how I was interested in it. And I know U of H had did their paper AKAs, but I didn't see the notice or whatever because I go straight to class and I go.
Yeah, they just got their line back on campus.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, why are you interested in AKA?
I like that because one of my friends that I work with, she's AKA, and I like the community service aspect of it. I like how y'all uphold yourselves. I really do. I really love that, and I want to be a part of something like that that has that aspect that, like, you know, you're doing what you're supposed to do, like you're doing the community service, everything along those lines. So I really do like that, and I
How
just
do
like
you
the
feel that you'll
organization.
contribute to
Yes.
it?
Yes.
How do you feel you'll contribute to it?
I'm a big community service person. Like during the hurricane, like, you know, I did volunteer for the NRG, so I did give back as well. So I feel like I'm a very positive individual, so I will bring my positivity to the organization. I do like to give back. That's a big thing to me, like just giving back in general.
So why not Delta? Because they do the same thing.
I know they do the same thing. I don't really know. Like, I still need
You
to.
gotta get serious.
No, I understand.
Why
I
do you
understand.
Yeah.
It's crazy because Delta's is
I
right
know.
Sunday next week. Delta's will be on next week, so they might throw some shots at y'all. Let me put my shot sign on.
Throw 'em, baby.
Yeah, we always
I think we may be ready for them shots.
always.
Yeah. I still need to as well do my research because, you know, I had my favorite kindergarten teacher, and I remember I told her, I was like, I want to be an AKA because I thought she was, because I was in her wedding. She was like, I'm an adult. So I was like, whoa, my bad, no disrespect. But I just like the organization as a whole. I mean, like, you know, I respect adults as well as a whole, but I just always saw the whole AKA aspect. I really did like what y'all had to bring to the
Are you
table.
gonna be saying this next week with the Deltas too?
Okay, because I feel like they're
No,
gonna throw shade on
I
you
wouldn't
if
even
they
do that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even
okay.
do that. No. I'm not that. Oh, I'm saying this one thing and then I'm doing another. No.
Okay.
When I stick to one thing, that's what it is.
And that's
I like
how it
that.
should be.
Yeah,
And that's
exactly.
why
I
she
agree.
was making that point of, I can't persuade you to be something
No,
that you're
I
not
agree.
super passionate about. No, what you asked her earlier, and she said that if anybody was interested in being a Delta or Zeta or SGRO or anything like that, is if you're not passionate about something and you haven't, you know, done your proper research
Right.
and actually have that, like that's something that you're really, really, really passionate, you know, you want to go die hard for it, then yeah, I can tell you whatever you would like to hear. But if you're not really into that, you can be swayed. And
I
nobody
agree.
wants a person who can be swayed
Right,
a
right.
part of
You
the
want-
organization.
right,
Because
you
I
want
think
that's
you are
already about it.
genuine and
Right.
solid. Yes.
I agree with that. I agree with that 100%.
And then we get a lot of people that just want to be a part of it because they think they're gonna be popular or.
And
You
I
know
don't
what?
think that's what it is.
But you know, it's crazy. I've seen it with my own two eyes.
Yes.
Like you were, no
They think
offense,
they
like
don't
you
do
were,
it.
you know, no one really knew you prior to, and then when you get in the organization, you like,
Right.
I
I
know.
made it.
Yes.
Yeah. No, you're lame then, you're lame now.
Yes.
Sit down.
Yes.
Keeping
It
it
is.
real. Keeping
Yeah.
it real.
Like,
Keeping
so
it real
don't
sometimes.
think
Because
that you
that's
just gonna turn to an overnight celebrity when
Right,
you
that's not
join
what it
any
is.
organization though.
You
Any
have
organization.
to. I feel like you have to be about it from like within. Like you have to know like this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Type thing. Not because I want to be AKA because they're oh so pretty. They get all of this, all of
But
this,
they don't know.
X, Y, Z, and it's just like that's not what it's. I feel like it's all about.
No.
You know.
Yeah.
But some
you
people
also-
think that.
But you
and,
also get a bond with your line.
Right.
So it depends, you know, you still have to get along with however many other women that
Right.
you have on that line.
Yeah, and I agree because I was used to a sisterhood because back when I danced in high school, we had a sisterhood when we danced. So that was one thing that I've always loved, that whole bond type thing.
And it's for real.
Yes.
I know it's for life. It's
Yeah,
like,
it's
it's
right.
for life.
And that's what I was gonna say. It's a life high. It's a lifetime bond. It's not. And that's what they used to stress so much. You know, if undergrad, I mean, you think about the social aspect because so many people are thriving for that aspect of becoming a part of any organization.
Right.
You know, the guys do it, they feel like they're going to get more girls. The girls do it, they
Yeah.
feel like they have a sense of identity, although they never, you know, they were not
Yeah.
prevalent individuals on campus.
Right.
But they always say, like, you know, undergrad is only 10% of what you'll ever do for this organization. Once you graduate and you become back active into those graduate chapters, that's what forms that lifetime, that lifetime association, and just know that you'll always be doing this. So, yeah.
Again, y'all, we live to Talk Me podcast. We actually like 35 minutes in. We usually take a break at 30 minutes, but we 35 minutes. Give us like 2 minutes, and we definitely be back to talk to y'all. Give us 1 second. I've been working this
I feel like it's more.
Stop it.